There are moments in life when a strange heaviness falls upon us. It doesn't come from a physical burden. It doesn't come from a long day of work, nor from exhaustion, nor from sadness alone. It is something deeper, something that presses against the soul, something that whispers in the silence, something that makes you feel as if the air around you has become thicker, heavier, almost spiritual. Maybe you have felt it. A sudden fear that has no explanation, a sense of being spiritually drained for no reason. A thought that returns again and again as if it wasn't entirely your own. A negative cycle that repeats itself no matter how many times you try to break it. A heaviness that wakes you at night, a shadow that follows you into the morning, a silence that grows too loud inside your mind. And in those moments you wonder, what is happening to me? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel attacked, oppressed, blocked? Why do I sense something dark around my life that I can't explain and can't escape? There are things that logic cannot fully answer. There are experiences that psychology alone cannot decode. There are wounds that medicine cannot heal. There are weights that do not belong to the body, but to the spirit. Some people call it bad energy. Others call it negative patterns, spiritual oppression, or even curses, whether spoken, wished, or inherited. Whatever name you give it, you know when it touches your life, and you also know when you are tired of carrying it. Today's message is for those who have felt this invisible battle, those who have sensed something dark pressing against their path, those who feel blocked, those who feel drained, those who feel spiritually vulnerable, those who believe that something unseen has been trying to harm them, limit them, silence them, or distort their destiny. If you are listening to this, it is not by chance. There are spiritual messages that arrive exactly when your soul is ready to receive them. And sometimes, just sometimes, God uses the voice of the saints to deliver truths that human understanding could never reach alone. Saint Faustina spoke deeply about spiritual battles, protection, divine mercy, and the hidden forces that affect our lives. And through her revelations, a powerful insight emerges. A truth so simple that it almost seems impossible. A truth so pure that darkness trembles before it. A truth so strong that it can break any curse, spoken, unspoken, inherited, or imposed, no matter how long it has existed. 3 words. Only 3. 3 words capable of cutting through spiritual darkness like a sword of light. 3 words capable of burning away every lie the enemy has planted. 3 words capable of shattering generational chains. 3 words capable of restoring your identity before God. 3 words capable of cleansing the atmosphere around your life. 3 words capable of breaking what has tried to break you. But before we reveal them, your heart needs to be prepared, because these 3 words are not magic. They are not superstition. They are not some spiritual formula. They are truth. And truth is only powerful when the heart receives it. So first I need to take you deeper. You may not see it, but you feel it. Not every battle happens in the physical world. Some battles begin in the spiritual realm long before they reach your thoughts, emotions, or circumstances. A curse, in the spiritual sense, is not always someone casting a spell or performing rituals. Sometimes a curse is a word spoken against you, intentionally or unintentionally, a sentence that takes root, a voice that repeats, a lie that grows inside you. You will never succeed. No one will ever love you. You will end up alone. You will fail, just like your parents. Your life will always be difficult. You are cursed. You deserve what is happening to you. You will never overcome this. Words have spiritual weight. The Bible teaches this. The saints understood this, and your soul knows this. Other times, the curse comes from patterns in the family line: fear, addiction, self-destruction, poverty, abandonment, spiritual coldness, or emotional wounds that repeat themselves across generations. And there are moments when the enemy simply attacks what belongs to God: your peace, your purpose, your identity, your relationships, your mind, your spiritual path. But here is the truth most people never hear. No curse can survive in the presence of divine truth. Not one, not ever. Darkness survives only where truth has not yet entered. And the message that Saint Faustina conveyed, illuminated by divine mercy, points us toward this exact truth. God has given you a spiritual authority that most people never activate, most people never claim, most people never speak. Because they do not know the power of three simple words. Three words that re-establish your place before God. Three words that restore your spiritual light. Three words that declare that darkness has no legal right over you. Three words that collapse the structures of spiritual oppression. Three words that reconnect you to divine mercy in an instant. And today, you are going to learn them. Before we continue, if you feel something moving inside you as you listen, if you feel that these words are speaking to a silent part of your soul, if you sense that this message is exactly what you needed today, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. This space was created to guide you, to strengthen your spirit, and to help you walk in the light, even when life feels dark. If this message is touching you, don't walk this journey alone. Join us, and let's continue receiving the wisdom that God reveals through His saints. Now, take a deep breath, because we are about to enter the heart of the message. The part that begins to lift the weight off your soul, the part that prepares you for the three words that can break any curse. To understand the power of those three words, you need to understand something many people ignore. Darkness, spiritual darkness, has a structure, a pattern, a logic. It enters through lies, it grows through fear, it strengthens itself through repetition, it hides in silence. It thrives in confusion, it manipulates emotions, it distorts identity, it poisons relationships, it plants discouragement, it destroys hope. When someone is spiritually oppressed, they often feel as if their thoughts are not entirely their own, as if something is draining their energy, as if negativity follows them, as if peace is impossible to maintain, as if joy has vanished, as if everything good slips away, as if they are constantly under pressure, as if they are being spiritually watched, as if a heavy presence surrounds them, as if they are stuck in a loop, as if they are cursed. But here is the truth. Darkness only survives where identity is forgotten, because spiritual oppression is always rooted in this, a lie spoken against who you truly are. Every curse is built on a false identity. Every liberation begins with the restoration of the true one. And that is why the three words are so powerful. They do not fight darkness directly. They do not chase away spirits. They do not try to attack what attacks you. Instead, they remind darkness of something it hates, who you are in God. When you speak these three words, you are not casting out anything. You are declaring a truth that darkness cannot remain in the presence of. Because when truth enters, lies die. When light appears, darkness flees. When identity is restored, curses break. This is why Saint Faustina emphasized again and again the spiritual authority that God gives to His children, especially through humility, trust, and divine mercy. And these three words embody all of that. Before the revelation, a deep spiritual preparation. Right now, your heart needs to slow down. Your mind needs to become silent. Your spirit needs to become open. I want you to imagine something, a room, dark, silent, cold. This room represents every fear, every wound, every spiritual battle you've faced. Now imagine a single beam of light entering through a small crack in the wall, just one beam. Yet that single beam of light changes everything. It illuminates the darkness. It reveals what was hidden. It breaks the illusion. It transforms the room. The darkness does not fight the light. It does not resist. It does not negotiate. It simply leaves. This is what is going to happen in your soul as the message unfolds. These 3 words are the beam of divine truth that darkness cannot coexist with. But to fully receive them, you must understand their foundation, the power of surrender, the power of identity, the power of divine mercy. Saint Faustina taught through her revelations that mercy is not an emotion. It is not a distant idea. It is an active force, a living presence, a spiritual shield, and it responds instantly to hearts that surrender and trust. The 3 words you will learn are built upon this surrender. They are born from it. They awaken it inside you. When spoken with authenticity, not as a formula, not as superstition, but as truth, they release mercy into your life in a way that destroys every spiritual chain. Nadi, you're ready. Your spirit is ready. In the next block, we will go deeper into the structure of the 3 words, the spiritual laws behind them, and how Saint Faustina's revelations illuminate their power. And then you will finally receive the 3 words themselves. Before you learn the 3 words, your spirit needs to understand something essential. Curses do not break because you fight darkness. Curses break because you claim light. Most people live their entire lives fighting the wrong battle. They fight against fear. They wrestle with negative thoughts. They try to silence the enemy's voice. They try to break addictions. They try to fix emotional wounds on their own. They try to be strong. They try to resist temptation. They try to escape patterns. But here is the truth that few people ever understand. You cannot defeat darkness by focusing on darkness. Darkness is defeated by identity, by authority, by truth, by alignment with God, by mercy. When the enemy attacks you, he is never actually attacking your circumstances. He is attacking your identity because he fears what you would become if you ever recognize the truth about who you are. This is why spiritual oppression feels like confusion, fear, feeling small, feeling unworthy, feeling guilty, feeling unloved, feeling powerless, feeling abandoned, feeling hopeless. All these emotions have one purpose: to make you forget who you are, to make you forget who God is, and to make you forget the power that has already been given to you. Saint Faustina wrote extensively about this. She described the soul who stands firm in God's mercy as unattainable to darkness, not because the soul fights harder, but because the soul knows to whom it belongs. And this is the foundation of the 3 words. Every spiritual battle is a battle of voices: the voice of fear, the voice of the past, the voice of trauma, the voice of accusation, the voice of the enemy, the voice of the world, the voice of self-doubt, and then the voice of God. The problem is not that God is silent. The problem is that the other voices scream louder because you have been listening to them for too long. Every curse begins with a voice, a lie, a phrase, a declaration spoken over your life. Sometimes you can remember exactly who said it. Other times you can only feel its shadow. But the spiritual world works with permissions. Words open doors, thoughts open doors, fear opens doors, wounds open doors. And what enters sometimes refuses to leave unless truth arrives. Look at this carefully. Darkness cannot resist truth. Lies cannot survive in the presence of identity. Fear cannot breathe in the atmosphere of faith. Oppression collapses when the soul stands in its rightful place before God. Nothing confuses the enemy more than a soul who knows its identity. This is why the 3 words are not a spell or a formula. They are a declaration of identity, a statement that restores your position, a proclamation that aligns you with divine mercy, a spiritual cry that activates the authority already given to you by God. Saint Faustina's revelations emphasize this. Mercy is not something you hope for. Mercy is a reality you step into. Mercy is a place where the enemy has no access. Mercy is not passive. It is active. It protects, it defends, it breaks chains instantly. And these 3 words are rooted in that mercy. You may not realize this, but the reason you are here, right now, listening to this message, is because something in your soul has already begun to awaken. The enemy's greatest fear is a believer who finally understands his or her authority. Because the moment you claim that authority, every curse loses legal ground. Every fear loses its voice. Every spiritual attack loses its strength. Every lie loses its power. Every heaviness begins to lift. The battle begins to shift. Not because you fight harder, but because you finally stand in the truth. These 3 words are the beginning of that shift. They are simple, but they hold the weight of heaven. They are short, but they carry the force of divine mercy. They are few, but they echo through eternity. And now, you are ready to receive them. Take a deep breath, slowly. Let your heart soften. Let your soul become silent. Let the atmosphere around you begin to change, because what you are about to hear has the power to transform everything. Your past, your present, your spiritual battles, your inner wounds, your fears, your identity, your destiny. Saint Faustina's spiritual insights make one truth absolutely undeniable. No darkness can resist a soul that trusts completely in God's mercy. And from that truth, we find the 3 words. They are the foundation of mercy, the doorway to liberation, the restoration of identity, the collapse of every curse. Here they are, the 3 words. Jesus, I trust. That is it. But don't let the simplicity fool you. These words are not just a sentence. They are a surrender, a spiritual declaration, an act of war, a proclamation of identity, a rejection of every lie, a door slammed in the face of darkness, a cry that aligns your soul with divine mercy. When you say, Jesus, I trust, you are declaring, I reject the lie spoken over my life. I refuse every curse, spoken or unspoken. I break every agreement with fear. I cancel every negative pattern from my past or family line. I restore my identity as a child of God. I place my life under mercy, where darkness has no access. I give Jesus permission to fight the battles I cannot see. I renounce the enemy's voice. I affirm that God's truth is greater than any spiritual attack. I stand in the light. The enemy cannot remain where these words are spoken from the heart. Why? Because trust destroys fear. Surrender destroys oppression. Mercy destroys every curse. These 3 words do not require shouting. They do not require rituals. They do not require emotional intensity. They require truth. They require authenticity. They require a heart willing to let God be God. When you say them with sincerity, the atmosphere changes, the spiritual chains fall, the lies collapse, the heaviness lifts, the enemy flees, and your soul returns to its rightful place. Whenever you feel spiritual heaviness, it can say, Jesus, I trust. Whenever fear enters your mind, say, Jesus, I trust. Whenever you sense spiritual oppression, say, Jesus, I trust. Whenever lies from the enemy whisper inside you, say, Jesus, I trust. Whenever you feel cursed, blocked, or attacked, say, Jesus, I trust. Whenever life becomes overwhelming, say, Jesus, I trust. And watch what happens. Mercy enters, darkness leaves, peace returns, your spirit strengthens, God takes over the battle, and every curse breaks, because mercy is more powerful than any darkness. And trust is the door through which mercy flows. Remember this, you're not fighting alone, you're not cursed, you're not abandoned, you're not powerless, you are not forgotten. You belong to God. And the moment you declare, Jesus, I trust, you step back into that truth. Let these words become your shield. Let them become your refuge. Let them become your weapon. Let them become your daily prayer. Let them become your spiritual identity. Because these 3 words can break any curse in your life, not through your strength, but through His mercy. If this message touched your heart, if you felt something awaken inside you, if you want to continue receiving deep spiritual teachings based on divine mercy, I invite you now, with all sincerity, subscribe to this channel so you never walk this journey alone. May these 3 words become your light. Jesus, I trust.